How's it going? Is everybody having a good time? Because we are. It's our first time here, and we are so happy to be here. This is awesome.
Yeah, this con's amazing.
Yeah, we're having a great time. Like, there's so much to do. I haven't even been able to do all of it because it's huge. So for those of you who don't know us, I'm Sam. This is Joe. This is my better half, Joe. We own a video game store in Fort Walton Beach, Florida. It's called RadJunk. In August of this year, we will have been open for 10 years. We've been selling video games for even longer than that. We also own an arcade called Rad Bar, and we have a YouTube channel that's also called RadJunk.
We do all the rad things.
All the rad things. Let me adjust this, it's a little taller than my face. So, we're here to talk about Game Store. So, background on us, we started off kind of collecting all the things that we had as kids, as you do. And the collecting kind of got out of hand. And, we're like, okay, we have a game room. We'll confine it to there. And then one day I come home and there's just video games stacked floor to ceiling in my living room. Just whole living room pretty much full of games. I was like, okay, this is a little much. We got a lot of doubles of stuff.
It was not a hoarding problem, I promise.
Don't believe him. So that happened. I was like, okay, we gotta do something about this. Like my whole living room can't be boxes of video games. And at the time, I was making these sports bras with Jigglypuffs on them, and it got featured by BuzzFeed, which was pretty cool. And we were selling those at conventions a lot and stuff, and ended up starting to sell video games too. And that kind of grew and grew, and one day, someone talked smack to Joe and said, Joe, you don't even have a game store.
We had been selling at conventions, and this person was trying to be mean about the fact we didn't have a brick and mortar. So the next morning, I woke up and drove down the road literally until I found a for lease sign, and I signed a lease that day. I did not ask for permission to do this.
Yeah, he was like, okay, so we're opening a game store. I'm like, we are, okay. It was fine because I was working at a boutique at the time selling $300 dresses to rich women, and I was ready to quit my job anyway, so then RadJunk, the brick and mortar RadJunk was born. And we've been doing it ever since. Less conventions now, except one guy's convention. I sell like one a year. This guy drive all the way to Arkansas just for y'all. But yeah, that's a junk. And we also have an arcade. We opened that in 2019. So we're going on 6 years of that, and yeah, August will be 10 years of RadJunk. And then the YouTube came about because we were just kind of filming what we were doing anyway, and people liked that, I guess.
We think they like it.
I think, I don't know. We're here.
Or they just like Sam.
There's a few of you in here, I guess, that like it, so thanks. So, yeah, that's us. RadJunk.
So this is more of a Q&A panel. If you guys have questions about the video game business or things adjacent to the video game business or arcade ownership or Sam's blue wig, we're gonna take some questions.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. Or if you want questions about Retro Rick, I can answer those too. No, I'm just kidding.
Does anybody have any questions?
Have any questions? Yes.
What is the most expensive thing we've bought? Yeah, pinball machines.
Pinball machines. That would be Probably, yeah, as far as that stuff goes.
In the realm of like retro games, though, I used to buy a lot of collections, but singular item.
I'm trying to think. I mean, was it the box Little Samson?
I have a really cool like NES test station that has the Super Nintendo add-on and the CRT. That's kind of neat.
Yeah, we traded the Samson for that. So.
Yeah.
It's okay. Listen, the NES test station is infinitely cooler than a Little Samson. Let's be real. Like, it's cool because it's a good game, but it's cool because it's really expensive. The NES test station, while also expensive, is really hard to get. Like, that's not something that you see. You know, you'll go through that vendor hall and see 10 Samsons probably, maybe not 10, but you'll see a couple. I have not seen any test stations in there, so I like weird stuff.
But also, we've been doing this for a long time, so the prices weren't as high.
That's true.
Years ago as they are now.
There's so many things that, like, I look back on, you know, before they got expensive. How many $200 Rule of Roses did we sell before that game popped off? And
Tron-Bon.
God, Tron-Bon.
We used to get a Tron-Bon every other week, and it was only $180 at the time.
Yeah, I know. I don't even know what that game goes for now, but I know it's considerably more than that. I'm trying to think.
For those that don't know, when we talk about pinball machines, on average, pinball machines are between $7,000 and $12,000, depending on what you buy.
Yeah. If you get collector's editions, they can get more expensive than that, but, you know, if you're, for the most part, what's the most expensive one we bought? Labyrinth? I think we paid $12,500 for that one?
No, the most expensive one we bought is Sonic the Hedgehog that just got announced.
We don't have that yet, but
it was about $13,000.
Yeah, if you guys don't know, there's a Sonic pinball machine coming out. They just announced it like 2 days ago. But there'll be one at Rad Bar if any of you go down to Florida for a beach vacation.
Favorite pinball machine?
Ooh, that's tough. I really like Ghostbusters. I think is probably up there in my top. It's one that I've really wanted for a long time, and I need to just shell out the money and do it, but I don't wanna. I think, yeah, Ghostbusters.
Labyrinth is up there for me. However, I really like that Transformers game that Stern brought out this weekend. And if any of you can beat my grand champion score on it right now, I'll give you $5.
Not right now, after the panel.
After the panel.
Yeah, Joe's the grand champion on that machine right now. First try, too.
Yeah.
Pinball wizard over here.
Something. Does anybody else have questions?
When I was a kid, I played a pinball machine at Hershey Park. It must have been like 30 years ago or longer. It was called Hercules. Have you guys ever played that one?
The big one?
Gigantic one?
Yeah. The ball
Yes.
was so big, the physics are horrible. I don't know
Oh, yeah.
if you played it and what your thoughts were on that one.
We played that game at Pinball Expo in Chicago a couple of years ago, and it's like, if you guys don't know about Hercules, it's
about as long as this table, maybe a little bit longer.
It's
and it's
massive,
huge.
and the balls are like this big, and it's
They're
just
ski balls.
yeah, gigantic, and you know you got to play it like this 'cause it's huge. It's a ridiculous machine, and I imagine to be probably a maintenance nightmare. Like that was my first thought upon playing it. I was like, God, I would hate to work on this.
For being a really awkward machine because of the size, it is pretty fun.
It's cool though, just for the sheer size of it, like, you know, because you don't see.
Yeah, I was so young, I probably wasn't that good at it. But years later, I just stuck with me. I'm like, I never saw something like that again.
Yeah, if you're a little kid too, you got to run from side to side.
Oh yeah,
Can't-
I'm sure it looks even bigger when you're a small child. Yeah, that machine is crazy, and there's not very many of them, so you won't hardly see them anywhere, and probably because I can't imagine what getting parts to replace things for that machine in particular is like. Probably have to have them custom made or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
That's more of a you question.
I'm not too familiar with the inner workings. I'll get one day.
Perhaps. You know, we have a problem. We just keep buying them, and they go live in the warehouse. And I don't know. We're hoarders of arcade games. Anybody else got a question?
Hi, you guys mentioned a couple of times you've been doing this for about 10 years. I guess business related or anything in general. Is there anything you guys wish you would have did different, or like, oh man, I wish we wouldn't have made that decision type of thing?
There's a few. I think I wish I would have done better inventory management in the beginning, because at first we kind of just didn't. It was just kind of a free-for-all of like selling things, and then once we started to really maneuver that, it was really hard later on. You got any?
Yeah, inventory is a big one because it does, like, it kind of piles on top of you very quickly at some point.
It does.
Especially, so, like she said, we were selling at conventions before we owned the brick and mortar, and it's like, okay, I've got my 20 tubs of games. I kind of know what's in each tub. But when we opened the brick and mortar 10 years ago, once we started getting trades, it was like, oh crap, we bought 10 collections this week that are 200 games each, and they just get mixed in. So inventory management is a big one. And then the other thing that we tell everybody, because this question comes up quite a bit, is hire a good accountant.
Yes.
Like from a business standpoint, that is the biggest thing. Because
It's very important.
Sam and I both are relatively good about knowing the expenses and things like that, but without like a great bookkeeper or somebody like keeping up with those things for you, it can get out of hand really quickly.
Yeah. I think another thing.
We hired a really bad accountant at first.
Yeah. Don't get yourself into financial troubles. Another thing that I think I wish we would have been filming more from the beginning, not so much from like being a YouTube person standpoint, which that just kind of happened, but there's so much cool stuff that we've done pertaining to the store that like we just didn't document, and like stuff that I wish that I had footage and more photos and stuff of, like the garage, for example. This was within the first year of opening the store, and we were contacted.
It was 8 years ago, 2 days ago.
Oh.
It popped up in like
Oh, okay.
some
So it
memories.
was 2 years in.
Yeah, 2 years.
Okay, I thought it was in the year one, but someone contacted us and was like, "Hey, you guys buy video games?" We're like, "Yeah." And Joe just gets a picture of like a Vectrex, a Steel Battalion, and like a pile of games. And we're like, "Oh, okay, yeah, cool, great. Like, yeah, we'll buy those."
And mind you, this picture, it was surrounded by boxes, like just floor to ceiling boxes, and it looked like trash.
Right, but we see that and we're like, "Oh yeah." And she's like, "Okay, come over to my house, to my garage." I'm like, "Oh no." So I'll let you tell the story because you were the one who went.
So I go over there expecting to pick up a broken Vectrex and probably a Thrash Steel Battalion controller. She opens this garage, and I'm beelining it for the games, like trying to like move through all the crap that was in there. And I knock over a box, and a copy of Soldier Blade on the TurboGrafx 16 falls on the ground, like CIB with the cardboard and everything, which for me is like one of my holy grails. I'm a turbo collector.
If you don't know about TurboGrafx games, it's a very hard one to find.
I did know I knocked it over, and I felt myself like kick something across the floor, and I looked down and see that, and I'm like, oh God. And so then I start looking in these other boxes, and it was like every Saturn game that is now like $500+, every Sega CD game, every 32X game, like Web of Fire mint in box. It turned out that this person's husband had passed away, and he worked in game stores since the 90s, and she had a 3-car garage literally full of games. And so I worked out a deal where I would either help, it sounds silly and kind of morbid. We have a widow policy. So if you come to us and a loved one has passed away, we'll help you either find a buyer for your stuff, or we'll buy it at a very high percentage to help you out. And so I went to that garage, every weekend for 2 years and bought every single game that she had. And
it was just the craziest thing, and like.
But we didn't film any of it.
We didn't film any of it, and I feel like sometimes we get these crazy stories of just stuff like that, and I feel like sometimes people don't believe us. They're like, yeah, okay. And I'm like, no, I did it. We did it. We've been doing this forever. A funny thing about him going to that garage, like the very first time he goes, naturally he's like in awe of all the stuff and just digging through boxes, and I didn't hear from him for like 2 hours. And I'm like texting him like, are you good? Or like, and I thought for sure that he had been murdered in a garage somewhere. I'm like, God, you lured us in with the video games, like. And then I get the text that's like, holy crap. And I'm like, are you alive? You're alive, I guess. You good? Are you okay? And he's like, we've hit the mother lode. Like, this is this is it.
Documenting things like that would be invaluable at this point.
I wish I would have done a lot more of that. If you go to our channel, there is like a few videos from like when we're painting the walls and like getting the store ready. And it's a very funny contrast to kind of where we are today. But yeah, more of that.
But to go back to that, film more, hire an accountant, and do inventory. Those are our 3 things.
Yeah, like I said, the YouTube is it's not our primary thing. We're filming stuff that we're doing anyway. And like I said, it happened to take off, so we started doing it more. But yeah, I don't know, document your stuff, because when you're old and not doing this anymore, you're gonna want to look back at it. So that's kind of the way I see it. Anybody else? Okay, you first. Yes. Where did you even get that microphone?
It's in the aisle.
Oh, okay.
Thanks, Michael.
Thanks,
It's
Mike.
the magic mic. So I have a very dry business question, so
Okay.
no fun in this one. Since your brick and mortar has been open almost exactly half before the pandemic, after the pandemic, and the bubble we're in right now, what kind, especially with trades, what kind of correlation have you seen volume versus profit? Like, are more people trading in now, but they want the higher price, or were more people trading in and buying before the pandemic? See, it's not so fun.
Are you talking like trade to sale ratio, or are you talking about people being savvy to prices?
We could do both.
Okay.
I think people definitely have a higher expectation for pricing now, like before the pandemic, it was just, I don't know, I guess people didn't care about this stuff as much then either. And they're like, I have this stuff, I don't care about it, just give me some money for it. And now, I get people that are like, okay, I have all this stuff and I want 70% of price charting for it, or, whatever. That's definitely become a lot more prevalent post-pandemic, I think.
Yeah, pre-pandemic, when it came to what she's talking about specifically, every few months you'd see people come in and expect the moon for their games, because a Yahoo News article would come out like, 5 N64 games that could be in your closet worth thousands.
Right.
But now it's all kind of, it's relative to the time. There's more visibility now, so there is higher expectation from a lot of people, because that visibility has spread to a wider audience. However, it's about the same as far as frequency goes.
Yeah, we're still kicking. We still get plenty of trade-ins, but yeah, the instance of people who think that they're going to get like full price for their games, it kind of seems to be a little bit higher.
Yeah, there's also been an interesting shift of people come into a store, and I used to be like, well, how much money do you want for your stuff? And they're like, I want 80%. And I'm like, 80% of what? And the point of reference has shifted over the years and things like that, and data sets have shifted a lot. But overall, it's kind of been the same. We're also in a very unique area where we're surrounded by a bunch of military bases, and they're training bases, so we get new sets of people like every 6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah.
And so trades are constant for us.
People are PCSing to other countries, and they're like, I don't want to bring all this stuff here. I'll just sell you all of my games. So we are very lucky in that regard. And then, as far as selling stuff, we're also a very heavy tourist area. So during the summer, we're like real busy.
Our poor staff is getting destroyed right now.
Yeah, well, it's been raining too, and at the beach when it rains, everybody goes shopping, so they're getting destroyed right now, but they're doing a great job.
Did that kind of answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Thank you, Michael, for being the microphone deliverer.
Hey, so obviously, like running a game store, like retro games are going to be like more of your bread and butter. But physical media is kind of in a weird place right now, where these old games are shooting up in value, but like modern consoles are shifting more and more towards digital. So I was just wondering, like, how does like what the industry is doing right now impact your business, if at all?
Okay.
I've got a lot of thoughts on this.
Okay, you first.
So I think there's always going to be room for physical media, especially older media, because with our customer base and typical clientele, our bread and butter is not high-end video games, right? That's not what pays the bills. It's the $15 to $25 PS2 games. And it's not people buying them to collect them. It's people buying them to play them because they're like, all this new stuff's so expensive. Why would I buy this when I could walk into your store to your like $3 bargain bin when all I want to do is play baseball games, and I'll buy like every year of MLB whatever and play that. And so when you think about it in that regard, it's people are going to get fed up with paying the high prices, and a lot of people don't like the fact that you can only get something digitally. And it's obviously the direction that the world is going in, just because of ease of access and all these corporations wanting to make as much money as possible. They're businesses, that's what they do. But I think that there's also on the flip side a level of people romanticizing physical media, and a lot of companies are trying to satiate people with physical media that's not really physical media, game key cards and things that are just access. But there's always going to be room for the older stuff, because at the end of the day, people just want to play games. And if you go out here and you talk to any of these indie devs, a whole bunch of them are providing physical ways to install these games even after the internet as we know it dies. And supporting them is one of the best things you could do. But business-wise, the only impact we see is when we get a digital-only console traded in. We try not to carry those if we don't have to. However, in some instances, it does provide a more budget solution in a way. Like an Xbox Series S is a good option.
I'll take the Series S. I do actually sell those pretty regularly, because a lot of people just want like a Game Pass machine, and it's very user friendly, and Game Pass is easy. So I do sell a lot of those, but the digital PS5s are not quite as good of a mover, I think, because if they're coming to a place like us, they want physical games, right? And
I do think with all the recent, when I say recent, I mean the past 3 months, everything that's happened in the modern video game industry, it all comes back to what I was saying about like trades and things like that, the visibility of things, because this is becoming less niche because it's impacting greater communities of people now, where they're like, oh crap, I can't just go out and buy an Xbox and buy my kid, a disc with Halo on it and they can pop it in. I gotta pay for a subscription.
Pay for a subscription and a $600 Xbox.
$800 now.
It's $800 now?
The Series X goes up August 1st to $800,
Oh my
I
gosh.
believe.
Okay, I didn't realize.
Someone
that
can
much.
correct me if I'm wrong on that.
Yeah, a lot of people are getting priced out of that stuff, but I've been selling so many more like PS3s and 360s lately. Everyone's like, Xbox 360, but I've had a lot more people that are like, I just want to play these games. I want to play Xbox, but I don't want to I can't spend $1,000 on an Xbox and some games, so I'm just gonna get an Xbox 360. And, you know, Call of Duty's $5-10. I'm just gonna play that, and you know, you can come in and get those era of games, and there's tons of great games that are still dirt cheap. And I think a lot more people are kind of getting into that era of gaming just because it's a lot of less collecting and more good stuff to actually play.
I think to directly answer your question, right now the prevalence of digital games is actually increasing our sales. However, there is going to be a point where it might dig into it and we might have to find some different avenues to like diversify what we do.
Eventually, probably, you know.
But I mean,
it's still a long ways away before that will be a problem. But
a lot of people are buying vinyl records still.
That's true. That's true. That made a comeback, and we collect video game vinyl soundtracks because we're just hoarder goblins and got to find
dirty
something
hipster.
something else to collect. So yeah, I think it'll be a while before it like impacts us too hard. Anybody else got a question?
Back corner, maybe?
Where do you want me?
Or you directed.
No, right where you were going.
Here?
Yeah.
Right.
You're right there.
Really unprofessional question compared to the last couple, but what's the weirdest trade-in you've ever experience you've ever had?
That we accepted or denied?
Either one, honestly. I'm kind of curious about the deny.
Shoes or welder.
Yeah. One time I had a guy try to sell me a welder, like a whole welder. No, the weirdest one though, I was working on something towards like the back of the store, and this guy walks in, and I kind of stop what I'm doing. I'm like, hey, how's it going? And I noticed he doesn't have shoes on, and he kind of walks over, and he's like, you guys buy stuff? I'm like, yeah, hopefully not your shoes, haha. And he's like, no, I want to sell you my shoes. And I'm like, oh, no, we don't buy shoes here. This is a game store. And he was like, yeah, but I don't even remember what they were, because they were some off-brand like basketball shoe. They weren't even anything cool, because if they were, I might have actually bought them. But he's like, no, but they're so-and-so's. And I'm like, yeah, but we don't buy shoes. And this guy straight up argued with me for like nearly 10 minutes about buying his shoes. Like, he was adamant. And I'm like, okay, listen, like, I buy video games. And he was like, well, what about my backpack? And I'm like, does it have Mario on it? He's like, no. And I'm like, then I don't want it. Like, and finally he's like, okay, so video games, like Xbox games. And I'm like, yeah, I will buy, if you have Xbox games, yes, I will buy them. But he's like, you sure you don't want these shoes? I'm like, I don't want the shoes. No. That was a weird one.
We used to have a customer that collected high-end Super Nintendo games, and he would offer me firearms in exchange for them. And I was like, can I just have cash?
Yeah, right, I just want some money. Firearms don't pay my bills.
One day I had someone, so next to our store is a hotel, and during the off season it gets a little seedy. And I watched a man walk out of the hotel carrying the TV from his hotel room into the store.
He had a pair of pants draped over them
To try and protect it from the rain.
It was raining?
And he walks, and mind you, the owner of the hotel is our landlord.
Yes.
So he walks in and he goes, hey, do you guys buy TVs? And I was like, not that one. And he's like, well, you've got a bunch set up back there. I was like, yeah, but that one was set up over there. And of course my buddy was in the store and he's like, well, I might be interested in buying a TV. I was like, Rich, no, please don't.
No.
And then I watched him walk back across the parking lot, walk back out without the TV, get in a car and drive off. It's very bizarre.
It was bizarre. I'm trying to think of like weird stuff that we actually.
We get a lot of Furbies these days.
Oh yeah, but I'm a weirdo. I like Furbies. I'm trying to think of weird stuff that. One time we got this clone console. It was like, some Famicom clone, and it's shaped like a penguin, but you could put Famicom cartridges into it. And it was like and it also had games preloaded onto it. You know, those weird China preload systems are always full of things like
The middle of the mall consoles.
yeah, the like Contra 7, but it's just Contra, or like here's Mario, but Mario's a girl for some reason, but still has a mustache. I don't know. It's like, you know, really weird stuff. And then you got a couple of Ninja Turtles, but yeah, it was I don't know what happened to that. I don't know where that is.
I have it at the warehouse.
Oh, okay. Yeah, little penguin Famiclone, and you could actually play the cartridges too. So that's probably my weirdest one that I ever actually took in.
I was mad about the welder. I wanted it.
What are you gonna do with the welder? You don't even know how to weld.
I could learn. It's big soldering.
It is big, yeah, but like, what are you gonna weld? Joe is the poster child for ADHD. You know, you want to do all the hobbies, but there's only so much time in the day when we have to, you know, run a store and a bar and fix pinball machines and edit video and and weld, apparently. All right. I think there was some in. Okay, yeah. I'm just gonna leave you in charge of that, Michael.
Oh. Are you familiar with video game grading services?
Yes.
Yes.
Do you get a lot of those, and what are your views on them?
We do not.
Like, you don't get a lot of them? You don't get any of them?
Well, and it's because I just don't care for graded games. It doesn't do it for me. And I think, you know, people know that. And like, if graded games walk into the store, unless they're like unless somebody wants to sell them for me for like a dumb low price, I'm not gonna buy them, just because I just don't care for graded games. Like, recently we got a sealed Pokemon Emerald traded in, and our buddy Travis, Woodman Classics, he's very into sealed game, like graded games and like sealed stuff, and he's like, you need to get that graded because it'll be worth so much more money, like it's gonna grade this, and like you need to do this. And I was like, no, I'm not gonna do that, because I don't want to deal with it, and I don't want to wait for the right person that's gonna come in to buy this. I mean, Pokemon's hot right now, so it probably wouldn't really be that bad, but I was like, how about you buy this for me and you get it graded? Like, it's all you, buddy. And then he did end up buying it from us, but
Yeah, the graded thing is like no knock against anybody that does
yeah, it's not like, I just don't care about it.
We own one graded game that I purchased accidentally, thinking it was just a sealed copy of the game, and it showed up graded, and I was actually pretty upset. But yeah, it's just not something we're into.
Yeah.
Follow-up question. Do you guys have time to play video games much these days? As you mentioned, yeah, you're busy. So.
There's a reason I play a lot more arcade games than console games these days, because it's a 5 to 10 minute commitment. I do when I can, and I'm constantly taking home games from the shop that I'm like, this looks really cool, I want to play it, and then I hope to someday get to it eventually, but I don't play as many games as you would think. You know, everyone's like, oh, you own a game store, you just play games all day, like living the dream. And I'm like, no, I'm scrubbing games all day, actually. But
I really like to play games on this thing called an Ein Thor. Just like to load it up with random like Super Nintendo and 3DS games and play those, but usually in like 10-minute bursts.
yeah, that's why I like, I don't know, I just don't do RPGs too much. And people give me a lot of flack for it. And they're like, what do you mean you haven't played Persona? And I'm like, I don't have 100+ hours put into this. Like, I like the idea of it, and I want to, but I cannot do it. I'll never finish it. I'll get like, if a game's more than like 40 hours, I'm not gonna play it.
Have you guys ever heard of a game called Luck Be a Landlord? It's like a slot machine roguelike. I've probably put 1,000 hours into that just sitting in airports. That's a great game.
Next question.
Hi, Sam. When you first had the idea of RadBar and growing into it, like, did it ever get to be like too much? Do you ever find yourself stretched thin between the store and the bar? I guess it's just crazy to me that you would have both those things.
So, Rad Bar, before we opened the shop, I wanted to do the arcade first. And then it didn't pan out, and the shop is what ended up working out. And then when we finally did find a space for the arcade, we had opened, and Joe was still working a corporate job at the time, like, because for the first few years of RadJunk, I was running it, and I had like one employee, and I was there 6 days a week, pretty much, just all the time. And then we opened the bar, and you know, like a month in, I was like, listen, Joe, like it's time to quit your job because I cannot. And
I was a software developer for about 8 years, so I sat in a cubicle and I would leave work and go to either the shop or the warehouse, or once we had the building for the arcade there, to just work on things and fix them. And I guess at some point it became too much.
Yeah, and I have this problem where I think that I can do everything, you know, in like 2 hours. And I'm like, yeah, no, I can totally accomplish this super long list of things that it's not possible for any human to realistically do. But it got a little dicey there in the beginning, just because I was trying to do everything. We didn't have a kid yet then. Also, we have a 5-year-old now that he kind of forces us to step back and take a break. But now I have a really good staff to take care of things. Like, you know, they're all holding it down while we're here, and that helps a whole lot. I mean, you know, the back end stuff I'm still doing, like, you know, I'm doing the ordering and the accounting and like all that kind of stuff, but like clerical stuff. But, you know, as far as day-to-day stuff, like little things that other people can be doing, like we've got really good staff, and that's been really, really helpful. So yeah, that's my other business tip, is like, make sure you hire good staff, because good staff will make or break you.
Hi, so you just led right into my question. So I'm also a business owner of video games, and so I'm just going to give a little bit of context before. So you know that our industry, most of our employees are buying and selling games. So does that change how you like think of like how to compensate them like financially? So you can have like hourly or salary or commission based. Have you ever thought about like how that can be available for your store?
What were you gonna say? You had a thought.
In regards to that, we pay our staff considerably.
Yeah, I mean they're hourly.
However, we do give bonus, like if they have a day that is like,
You know, they're
either really rough or they're killing it, then we give bonuses.
yeah, we're more bonus based, I guess, and it's not as like. I feel like I've worked commission jobs like that, and it gets a little like, I don't know. I don't want anyone to feel pressured in the store, you know, when they're coming to buy stuff. And I feel like commission-based stuff kind of adds that extra pressure. So I just think their base pay has just got to be good enough to where, you know, you can get good staff and keep them. And yeah, just incentivize them whenever they do extra good.
Yeah, all of that's obviously variable to your area and, you know, your store and your business operations, but I think providing a really good hourly wage and a lot of freedoms to be able to like take time off and things like that, just make sure your staff is happy and they can feed their families.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, people are different. Like some people would probably rather work commission, maybe. I don't know. No, not me, but I don't know. I just want my staff to be happy because, you know, when they're not, it very much shows. But I don't know, how are you doing hourly or salary? Did you take his mic? Because I'm directing the question back, because I'm curious, like how you do that.
So we pay hourly, and we have salary, and yes, we do give a pretty good compensation. We do performance incentives and stuff, but lately I've just been thinking we have like we have most of the employees like really love, you know, just the general vibe of the store and they buy and sell, but we do have a select amount of employees that are like really driven on the salesman aspect of it and like negotiating really strategically.
Yeah.
And I just feel like sometimes like we could possibly be losing talent because of those really driven people. But I totally agree with you on the base pay. Like you just want people to like really love working for your store and feel like they're compensated well.
Yeah, employees it's definitely a thing of like you get what you pay for with people, for sure. All right, anybody else have? Okay.
Hey, thanks. I'm just curious how you get like a foothold into the business. It sounds like you kind of already answered that question to a certain extent, but how'd you get like the ball rolling? I mean, you have to buy, you have to sell, you need some capital. How did you get like really started in it?
Capital didn't exist.
It's funny, when we had talked about opening a game store before, you know, Joe was very hasty and vengeance driven, so it happened quicker. But the summer before, I had gotten a second job. I was working in a snow cone trailer, and in a very touristy area. I made a lot of money in tips, but I was already kind of pre-planning for when that would happen. Like I said, Joe kind of just went and did it. But I saved up a bunch of money working my jobs, and we had been kind of, you know, like I said, we were doing conventions, so we slowly over time acquired inventory. It wasn't like a huge investment just right at once. And, you know, it's kind of what happens with this is like you have one thing and then you trade it for more things, and it's a slow build up.
And
over time.
While she was selling snow cones, I had a side job as a photographer, and I just booked a lot more photo shoots. And so the initial cost, we kind of just bootstrapped the whole thing that way.
Yeah. We started very, very much smaller too. Like we grew into ourselves quite a bit.
But all the way back to the beginning, we just started collecting games. I was like, I want all the games I had as a kid, plus some more. And then it sprawled and spiraled out of control.
Yeah, and you know, if you start buying before you actually have a physical store, like it's not as much pressure because you're not constantly like moving the inventory. I mean, like I said, we were doing conventions, but that was like once every few months. Like we still both had jobs. It was just kind of a side thing that we were doing, but it became easy enough to get enough inventory to like start out, and then it kind of just snowballed from there. But yeah, we really did kind of bootstrap it. Like
we also, this is a thing where it goes back to the things we wish we had done in the beginning. One thing that we did do in the beginning that I'm very thankful for is we did everything in-house, whether it was building shelving or building fixtures or painting the walls, all the little stuff. We did everything ourselves or with the help of our friends. And
you know, we're looking on Facebook Marketplace for like glass cases and, you know, finding deals on that kind of stuff, because there's always somebody going out of business. Funny story, we were getting ready to open and we were about to just straight up build shelves
the day before we were set to open.
Because again, that goes back to that thing where we think that we can, you know, take over the entire world in 24 hours. And so we're like, okay, yeah, we're gonna build these shelves and have our soft opening tomorrow, and it's gonna be fine. Somebody had contacted us. There used to be a movie stop in town, and it closed. And someone that we didn't really know her, but she's like, hey, I know you guys are opening a business. Movie stop is going out, and they need to get all of these fixtures out of their store. Like, I can put you in contact with the guy. And, you know, if you want to go get some stuff. And we're like, oh, well, yeah, that would probably actually work out better than trying to build a bunch of shelves tonight. But he couldn't meet up with us until the morning of. So we rented a U-Haul. We go to this movie stop, and
At 9 a.m. and we're set to soft open at noon.
yeah, I didn't know that noon was the time until 11 o'clock, and Joe's like, "We're opening in an hour," and I'm like, "Are you joking?" So we went, and I had like bootstrap, and it was like my last money that I had.
We had $450,
I was
a
like,
U-Haul
okay.
truck, and 3 drills.
I was like, what can I get with this $450? Because he had all the stuff individually priced. I'm like trying to budget in my head. I'm like, okay, well, you can get this and this and this. And my camera just stopped.
It's cool. I got it.
Okay.
It's fine. Keep going.
Anyway, so I think the guy might have felt bad for us because he was like, you know what, just take whatever you want. Like, whatever you can load into this truck, give me your money and just get this stuff out of here. Like,
He even gave me a movie stop rack mount server that was in the back of the store.
he didn't care. He was trying to get that stuff out of there so he could get the next tenant in. I think it's a Verizon store now, actually. But yeah, this guy just like took pity upon us and was like, yeah, just take whatever you want. And that provided us fixtures for our entire store, which we still have to this day. And we got really lucky with a lot of the stuff that we did. Like, luck had a big part in us. Everything just fell into place. Just
Luck, blood, sweat, and tears.
yeah,
Literally.
yeah, literally. So that's that.
Anybody else?
Hi, first of all, I love the content you guys do. It's great.
Thank you.
Also, I want to know, because you two seem like how I act. What's something that you guys both have bought, just like out of coincidence, or did just because you're like, oh, I'm gonna get this, and then you just show back up being like, oh, I bought this. You're like, why did you buy that? Just out of shock. Something like that.
Repeat that one more time.
Like, what's something that you bought that you kind of just like at a whim bought, and it was more just like kind of something that was kind of maybe big or something that like you didn't expect to buy, and you kind of just showed back up with it, like, hey, I bought this. Then it was kind of more of like a shock of like, why? Like, for example,
That's every day of my life with this guy.
I have a problem. I bought a Star Fox store display today that was like $300. It was pretty sick.
I mean, that one wasn't so much of a why. I knew why you bought that one. So we do a segment on our YouTube called Rad or Sad, and it started because Joe would just be buying stuff, and I'm like, what is this? Like, why?
Can't pass up a deal.
I'm trying to think of a good one. Like that weird bronze cast Zelda cart, and it weighs like probably 20 pounds. And Joe just like brought it to me and just plopped it in my lap. And I'm like, what? Why would you buy this? And he's like, for that reaction exactly. I got one that I bought for Joe because I also wanted the reaction. It was the one trade night that Joe missed because he was sick at home. Which, for those of you who don't know, we have a monthly trade night in our stores where we let people come in and buy, sell, trade their games among each other. We do it the first Saturday of every month. We have for 10 years, but it's like a video game swap meet. And we haven't missed one except Joe, the one that Joe wasn't able to go to because he was at home with like the flu, like having a fever. And somebody had this like Felicia statue, like, you know.
Felicia from Darkstalkers.
Sexy cat lady. And I was like, I'm gonna buy this for Joe because he's sick at home and he likes Darkstalkers, and I'm gonna bring this to him. And I did, and he was like, why did you buy this? It's like, it's for you. It's your waifu, like.
I can't think of a dang thing right now that's like funny. Sometimes I'll bring home cars and I'm like, yeah, I picked up this today.
Oh yeah. Honda.
Video game wise, usually it's something really stupid. Just like,
Plot comic book.
Yeah, comic book for the game Plock on Super Nintendo. It's things like that.
Like, you know, any kind of like derpy Donkey Kong stuff, because it exists. There's a lot of it.
Oh, I did find this one time, and I still have not divulged how much I paid for this. Sam has a really large Donkey Kong collection, and I guess some artist in like the early 2000s made these like he hand sculpted this really weird Donkey Kong that you paint yourself, and he only made like 10 of them or something, and you have to glue it together. It's all like poured plaster. You glue it together, and then you have to paint it.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
And
need
it
to paint
shows
that.
up, and it's like Donkey Kong's head and his arms and like his torso and all this.
Yes, I was like, what the heck is this? Well, because he also like threw in like a frog or something, and I was like, I don't.
But Sam will never know how much that cost.
I'd probably be upset if I, if I were to find out. I just don't even ask questions anymore at this point because I know better after, 1 million years of being together.
What made you guys want to do Really Rad Weekend? Can you tell us about it? Because I felt like I was late to the game learning about it and went on a whim last year, and I tell everybody now.
So for those that don't know, Really Rad Weekend is our convention. We basically take over a resort on the beach, and it's an excuse to throw a party and see all of our friends. It started out because Sam and I were on the board for a convention called Emerald Coast Con the very first year that happened, like 14 years ago? 12-ish years ago?
The first one was in 2014, I think. It was before we opened the store.
Yeah,
It was
and
2014.
so a really good friend of mine put that on, and I was helping with it, and we were helping plan and all that. After that first year, he did not want to continue doing it, but it was such like a cool event that we wanted to. So Sam and I ended up acquiring the convention, and we continued as Emerald Coast Con until 2018 or 19?
It was 18.
18, that's right.
Then 19, because we also had a business partner with Emerald Coast Con, and we didn't share the same vision, I think, for it, not in like a bad way. It's just we had different ideas for what we wanted this convention to be. And then 2019 happened, and we were opening Rad Bar then, so we didn't do the convention. And then 2020 happened, and no conventions were happening, and so it ended up just kind of dissolving.
So then in January of 2021, I had already owned I have once again, a hoarding problem. I like to buy domain names for things that don't exist yet. And so I was going through my list of domains, and I saw reallyradweekend.com. And I was like, man, why don't we just rename the convention that and turn it into what it turns into anyway, a party? And so I made a graphic and made an announcement before telling Sam we were doing a convention that year.
Also, one of these things, he's like, okay, we're bringing back Emerald Coast Con. And I was like, what? And he's like, yeah, it's Really Rad Weekend. And he's like, I already posted it. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, so I made some phone calls, acquired the resort. So every November we put on a convention that, once again, is just a big party, but it's video game adjacent. And then we donate every penny to local charities.
Yeah, I'm a little biased, but it's a good time. It's very low key. You wake up in the morning, you can go to the beach and then come back inside and play pinball and then go have a drink by the pool and then go to our vendor hall. Like it's chill, but it's a good time. It's the vacation con. We always call it the wife con because it's the one that everybody your significant other couldn't care less about this stuff, but that's the one you want to bring them to because they can just hang out at the beach while you do video game stuff. So that's Really Rad Weekend. All right, we have 4 minutes and 55 seconds. There's a timer on this TV.
It's kind of awesome.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Got one in the back. Oh my God.
Final question. So I saw a thing that says you're opening a arcade in Quakertown. Tell us about that.
Where?
Quakertown?
This is new to me.
I think Retroware is opening an arcade in Quakertown. I think, is Quakertown here in Pennsylvania? Okay, yeah, no, that's Retroware.
We are opening 2 more locations.
We
but those
are.
are undisclosed at the moment.
We are, but yeah, that's that would be Retroware, I believe. I think I saw a sign over in the arcade area. So yeah, if you see Justin anywhere, that's the person you want to talk to about that.
Top secret. Give me about 6 months.
It's happening though. Do you guys not? Oh no, you guys. Okay, how far is Quakertown from here? Just curious because I don't know this area really. Is it close by? Okay. Gotcha.
I was just curious about your technical work. You said you do a little bit of soldering. I was curious how much of it you do for the business or for general pleasure.
It is. There is no pleasure in
I don't know
soldering
that I would
anymore.
ever decide soldering is a pleasurable experience, but yeah, I mean it's all pretty much for work at this point. Although sometimes there's projects where I'm like, oh yeah, I could do that. I can just build a thing and solder it, and then I don't.
We do. So primarily the technical work that we do is for the business. However, sometimes I'll get a wild hair and find a new piece of tech or something that I want to mess with, or Sam will have an idea to build some project and she'll be like, hey, is this possible? And so we'll build some weird stuff, more of like proof of concept type things.
Yeah.
I've been messing around with these like tiny, it's called a cheap yellow display. It's like a 2.8 inch ESP32 device. And we've been messing with some arcade integration on those.
I think a lot of the fun work stuff is arcade based at this point. Like, I have plans to build a Sailor Moon arcade cabinet. There's a Sailor Moon beat 'em up if you've ever played it. It's called like Pretty Sailor Soldier or something like that. It was like only in Japan. It's a super hard game to find, and they didn't make a dedicated cabinet for it, but I want, and it'll end up going in RadBar, so it's technically a work thing, but it's just something that I want to do, and I just want to make this beautiful, like, super girly Sailor Moon looking cabinet. It's on my to-do list, but it's a little time.
We do get to get a bunch of cool like technical toys, because when it comes to like repair, especially with pinball and things like that, parts are expensive. So I'm like, why would I pay for this $60 3-inch by 3-inch piece of plastic when I can just buy a laser cutter and cut it myself and then UV print on the back of it?
But I don't know, not to say that like, we say we find no pleasure in it, but we like what we do. Like I'll sit down and fix Game Boys and like, I don't mind doing it. It's not a thing, we're so dramatic right now. Just like,
we video games.
I have to do my video game job, but granted, it's a pain sometimes. Like, you're not gonna love every second of it, but I like to tinker with stuff. It's just when I spend hours and hours on it and then it just still doesn't work, and I'm like, I hate it here. Like, but
we are nerds to the core.
yeah, we are. Get a lot of crap about it, and they're like, oh, because you going on about these pinball parts and stuff. I'm like, it's a pain, but I do kind of enjoy the pain, I guess. All right, I think there's like 20 seconds on this timer, so I'm not gonna push it. But thank you guys for coming to listen to us yap. And everybody to give our microphone, Mike the mic, give him a round of applause.
Also, thank you TooManyGames for having us.
Yes, this is awesome. Like we're having a great time.
This is in contention for my favorite convention now.
Yeah. Oh. Ooh. No, he's like,
It's
after
not
all
his.
that I've done for you. So yeah, that's 0 on our timer.
Signing.
I'll be at a booth let's see, signing booth number 1, I think. If you guys want to come chat and hang out, I'll be over there. So thank you guys.